Hello and welcome to my tutorial about Dwarf Fortress Steam version. Now I'm going to assume that you've never played this game before and take this tutorial directly from the start, including how to generate your own world and how to form squads and a functioning military. The goal of this tutorial is to be as concise and to the point as possible, and you can replay this video anytime you want or ask me in the comments about stuff that you want answered. I'll make more tutorials about the different mechanics of this game like stairs, ramps and siege machines soon. And if you enjoy this video, be sure to like and subscribe. So without further ado, let's jump into how to play the game. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna wanna do is to click on the create new world button. It's going to take you to this menu where you will generate your first world. It even gives you a little introduction. So if you want to change the settings for your world, you can do so, but it will take a lot longer for your computer to generate that world. So I would recommend you start generating a world at the default settings. And after you're done tweaking the settings, you can click create new world and boom, a whole universe with a unique history and characters and random adventure awaits you. As soon as it's done loading, as you can see, the entire world with rivers, lakes and mountains is being randomly generated, and after it's done placing the civilizations in this world, it will start generating history, which is also completely random as well. So the four main civilizations or factions you have to worry about are the elves, humans, goblins and of course the dwarves. You can start the game with all these factions hostile to you or with all the factions peaceful to you, but most of the time the goblins hate you and will start wars with you. And after 100 years of history has been generated, we are now ready to play in this world and choose any place in it for our dwarves to settle. You can settle in the desert, which would be way too hot for your dwarves, or you can settle in the cold, which would freeze your dwarves to death. It's all up to you. So now we have to choose a place for our dwarves to settle. The ideal and best place would be a place with lots of trees like a heavily forested area, deep soil for us to grow our mushrooms and other plants, and iron, gold and all the other metals so we can make weapons and trinkets for our dwarves to wear into battle or sell to the highest paying trader. Before we do that, let me give you some quick advice. Not every game of Dwarf Fortress is going to be the same, and the point of this game is to achieve goals that you set by yourself. You can grow your fortress big and strong to the point it will be a mountain home and the king of the dwarves himself settles in your fortress. Or you can just attack everyone and be at war. The choice is up to you. You make the fun. After you've chosen a place that you're fine with, and after you click the embark option, you will see this menu where you have to decide whether you want to play now with default skills, equipment and options, or if you'd like to embark carefully, choosing your equipment and skills for your dwarves to use in their new home. I would recommend you to pick the prepare for the journey carefully option, because as I said before, no game of Dwarf Fortress is going to be the same, and the place your dwarf settled in would be completely different from what the play now option gives you. Also, the prepare for the journey carefully option lets you name your fort and the group of dwarves who are building the fort and even their fort symbol, giving it a much more personal touch for you. If you chose the prepare for the journey carefully option, you will see this screen with the 7 dwarves who will build this fort and their names and what skills you can assign them. Now there are many skills you can assign your dwarves to make sure they are the best for the job you want them to do, but I recommend you start with at least 2 miners, assigning them 5 points in mining and 5 points in mason, making them good at digging through rock and turning those rocks into crafts and tables and blocks and anything else you need to do with stone. Now that you have assigned 2 dwarfs to mine, make 1 dwarf a woodcutter and a carpenter by putting 5 points in woodcutting and carpenting, so that this dwarf will cut down trees and turn that wood into more useful stuff. We need another dwarf to be a farmer, so assign 5 points to planter and 5 points to brewing. And you need 1 dwarf to be the cook of the group and make food for the rest of the dwarfs. So assign 5 points to cooking and trapping and butchering. The points given to trapping and butchering doesn't matter that much, so you can just assign 3 points to trapping and 2 points to butchering. You will also need a blacksmith dwarf, so assign another dwarf 2 points in weaponsmithing, armor smithing and blacksmithing, and add 2 points to wood burning and furnace operator. I will talk about how to smith in detail in a later video. Your last dwarf should be a doctor dwarf in case any dwarfs become injured, which is highly likely because of how clumsy and drunk they can be sometimes. To help treat them, this last dwarf points in the doctoring, wound dressing, diagnostician and surgeon skill with 2 points each, and use the remaining 2 points to make him a good speaker so that he can be our negotiator and help us trade when the trade caravans come to our fortress. After you're done choosing your dwarves and their skills, you can come to the items menu, and there you can see all the items that your dwarf start with. Most of the stuff that your dwarf needs are already there, so there's not much to change, but there are over 500 points you can spend getting whatever you need. I recommend bringing more alcohol, since a drunk dwarf is a happy dwarf and a sober dwarf gets very cranky very easily. You can use your points to get more animals. You can choose which animals you want by going to your animals menu right next to the items menu. My recommendation would be a male and female pair of dogs and cats, as dogs can guard your fortress and cats can kill rats and other small pests. Other than that, what you bring is all up to you. Wanna bring a bunch of raw fish? Go ahead, but I don't think that's going to end very well for you or your dwarfs. After you have decided to on your items, you can now take the most important decision ever, naming your fortress. In this case, I'm going to name it something cute like Learn Fortress, the Fortress of Learning. After you click the embark option, your map will load and you can see all your doors on that map next to a wagon. I recommend you look around your surroundings first as the game is paused and find a nice side of a mountain to dig into to build your fortress. Press M or go to the pickaxe symbol on the bottom and designate a 3x3 area for your doors to dig into to make a nice big entrance. Tell your woodcutter to start chopping down trees with the button right next to the mining one and press space to unpause the game or press the play button at the top next to the map. After you build your entrance, build some workshops by pressing the B key or by pressing the button right next to the eraser icon. Now build workshops for the rock or wood you have gathered by mining and cutting wood. A mason workshop and a carpenter workshop to be more precise. Go back into the mining menu and choose the dig stairs options and use the middle mouse button to scroll down once and go down the level and dig a flight of stairs so that you can go deeper inside the mountain to build the interior of the fortress. After that, find a nice wall of clay, silt or soil and dig into it too, because this is going to be a space for building our farms and growing our crops. To build a farm plot, go back into the workshop menu, click the farming button and here we can see all the different farming workshops you can build. Choose the farm plot and designate the room you just dug out from the soil and one of your dwarves will build it now. Designate dimple cups to be farmed in this plot for every single season. Dimple cups can be grown year round but can make a dwarf a bit bored eating the same food every year. So switch it up once a while with meat you can hunt or buy from traders. Speaking of traders, now would be a good time for you to build a trade depot for all those trade caravans to set up shop in. Build it from any material, it doesn't really matter. Now dig deeper into the mountain you have chosen. Make your two bedrooms, your dormitory for all your dwarfs to sleep in, and your meeting hall for your dwarfs to eat and drink and talk in. You can construct beds and chairs in the carpenter's workshop and tables in the mason's workshop by hovering over the workshop and clicking add new task, and be sure to make that task repeating by clicking the repeat button right next to it until you get at least 7 beds and 7 tables and chairs. If you want to check how many beds, tables and chairs you have, go into the stocks menu. There you can see everything you need. So now that you have built your 7 beds, be sure to make the room you build your beds in a dormitory by designating them through the zone menu, the one with the green box with the dwarf in it. So now you have built your bedrooms and meeting halls. Now the fun part, building your military. Well, to begin building your military, you need to assign a militia commander. It should be someone who isn't important to your fortress, like Dastot the herbalist here. We can make Dastot the militia commander by going into the nobles and administrators menu by pressing N and assigning Dastot in the space for militia commander. Now you can create a squad led by a militia commander by pressing the squad mate icon next to the map icon on the bottom right of the screen. The limit to a squad is 10 dwarves, and if you want more squads, we will have to assign more militia commanders in the future. Right now we can't afford any uniforms, so just press the no uniform option. And there you go, the squad with a random name has been generated. In my case, it's a squad named the problematic floors, and you can choose a symbol for it too if you want. You can even change the name. But to assign members to a squad, you need to click the little dwarf ahead icon next to the militia commander, and there you can enlist anyone you want in the squad. So that's all there is to it. In this tutorial, we learned how to create a world, the proper place to embark in, what items we should have to take with our dwarves, how to provide beds and chairs and tables to our dwarves, and how to build workshops and a military. That's all the basic stuff you need to get your feet off the ground in Dwarf Fortress. Hope you guys like the video, and more tutorials will definitely come in the future about this game. And again, like, share and subscribe.